Welcome back to the Funeral Babe podcast, episode 2. This is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm Melissa, your local funeral director, undertaker, mortician.
And I'm Christina, and I have never worked in a funeral home in my life.
Ever?
Never. Been to many funerals.
You have been to many funerals, which is actually really good because do you know what today's episode's about? Did you read the memo I sent you?
I have it.
I literally printed it out, brought it to your house
in
a funeral home folder and everything.
Yeah, it sat in my laundry room on top of the washing machine. I looked at it every day at the folder, not in it. But I think I know.
Okay. Today.
You could tell me again anyways.
Okay. We're going to talk about when they ghost you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but when they ghost you, but then also like when they ghost you, but then when they like ghost you.
Ghost you.
Ghost you. Ghost because like you get like ghosted.
There's levels to this.
There's a lot of levels to this
ghosting thing. Yeah, no.
Think about it. How many people do you probably like not talk to anymore? Or like even like you hear family members, like friends of friends, or people are like, I don't talk to this one and all that.
Yeah. Oh, every day, all the time.
It's like people ghost their mother.
Yeah, I get rid of a family member daily. It's like I log onto Facebook, the first one that pops up, nope, you're gone. Done, ghosted.
Never talk, and like you never talk again, unless like you're at like a wedding or a funeral. If you get if that connection even happens anymore.
No, you're so right. There's levels. It's not just the ghosting where he's not texting back. Like, yeah, you can do it with
My
family.
Eyes twitching out. Can you see it? Yes. Can you see it? Why is it doing that?
It's the coffee.
Oh my gosh, I think it's like a hydration problem. So wait, the Facebook.
Yeah, no, like you could ghost people every day, but there's levels to it. It's not just, I'm not texting you back. It could just be, a friend, a family member.
Yeah, or even just like so minimal contact, like the people that you only really see on Facebook, but like you have no idea. Like
you wish them happy birthday.
Yeah, like everyone posts their highlight reel, so it's like you really don't know anything that's going on about them.
I don't even know what a highlight reel is, but go on.
A highlight reel is like when you only post things that like you think people would appeal to. Yeah, the fun stuff, the things that make you look, like everything's great. Like no one's posting their mental breakdown, like, and you shouldn't, like, I mean,
unless you want to.
No, I feel like that's like a little cringy, like set the camera up for, like, unless you were talking and then all of a sudden you had a mental breakdown, then that makes sense. But yes,
back to ghost.
Back to ghosting. People, like, in real life, it happens all the time. My grandmother used to say, I've buried people, grieved people, held grief for people and funerals for people who are still alive.
So true. Speak, Grandma.
Right? Like
so true.
And sometimes you have to in life. Like in order to grow, you have to cut some. You have to cut some people out.
Well, what about ghosting? The former you, the same thing.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, like turning a whole new leaf and closing a chapter on one thing. Is that considered like a ghosting?
I think
you're.
Yeah. Like now that you say that, I think like I ghosted myself in 2020. Like something happened in 2020, and I just ghosted myself and became like a new person. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, a rebirth or reborn or what's the word?
I think you do get like reborn every 7 years or something because like that's when all your skin and everything like replenishes itself.
We're not snakes.
No, I think seriously, like all your cells like eventually it takes like 7 years. I don't know. Google it. Chat it. I don't know.
Chat it. No, you're probably right. No, we'll go with that. But yeah, no, ghosting comes in all forms or
like even like girls and boys when girls just ghost. Boys I guess boys get ghost girls too, but like people do it all the time.
Yeah. And not even just like in a romantic way, just like a friendship way. Like you just lose interest, you have different values, different views.
Some people you grieve and some people you don't.
True.
Think about that.
Very true.
Like you go through life and like sometimes you just go, different friends and like you don't even really like grieve them. You're just like, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's almost like they serve a purpose. Some people just serve a purpose and they're gone.
Yeah.
But they still like you still love them. Like they're still kind of, even if like everyone's a lesson or a blessing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, everyone's a lesson or a blessing. So when they come into your life, they're still impactful. There's still some kind of significance.
There's a reason why they're
in each person. And it's weird that some people you won't grieve or like then they do die. Like you already ghosted them in life. And then they do die. And then you're like really sad.
Of course.
Because like that was the significance they had on you, even though like they already ghosted you. Now they're like really ghosted.
Now they're gone. So do you think it's like a sad, like relief thing, or is it a sadness and like a now we'll never know, or you know, like, is it now like a haunting? Like, you'll never know. They ghosted you and then they died. Like, now you'll never get like your closure.
But then it's like, well, then you should have just talked to them when they were alive.
Sure.
Like, that's on you. But like, I guess, you know, like, I think social media obviously plays some kind of role with keeping people connected. Like,
Absolutely.
but like in the old days, like our parents, whatever, boomers, like they, you know, they didn't have that stuff. So like they really got ghosted.
They did, yeah.
Like they just wonder, you know. It's really sad too because sometimes my mom, like, she'll like, you know, you're like, oh, how's this one doing? Oh, they died.
Yeah.
And it's like common.
It happens all the time, yeah. My mom will come over, do you remember, you know, Billy, Bobby, Bruno? And I'm like, no. Well, yeah, they were here, you know, all these times. And now they're gone, and his sisters, you know, brother's aunt also died. And
they're all dead.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, yeah, different times. Like, but I think in that ghosting sense, it's essentially still like, it's still loss. It's still death. Because some relationships end too, like breakups and stuff, where, you know, that you're grieving. Like, that's like, not everyone is, like, let's be honest. But you relationships end, people grieve. Like, it's like the death. It's a death of a relationship. It's a death of one's self.
In that form, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like death and grief. Kind of crazy. And then there's like the type of ghosting where like you get ghosted, like really ghosted. Like
when they
actually just
when they come
die.
visit you
Yeah,
at work.
By the time they like really ghosted you now. Like
Yeah.
there is no, and I think that's what's crazy because we're all gonna ghost everyone, obviously, at
And
some
I feel
point.
like going back to like the ghosting thing, like people who ghost their families or their friends and stuff, and maybe it's like unresolved issues or things that you don't want to address or they don't want to address, whatever, and then they do die. And I think sometimes the sadness comes from guilt too, because maybe, you know, they thought they had more time. People ghost you, you know, you ghost someone, you don't think that like they're gonna die tomorrow. If they did, you probably wouldn't have ghosted them. You'd be, you know.
Right, like maybe you would like work out your issues. Like,
so that's, I think, when people die and you don't have like a good relationship, I think it hits them a little bit harder or in a different sense because there's guilt behind it too.
and it's like, yeah, but like at the same time, I always think like they could die tomorrow. Like you could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like you've promised me, like we got to go talk about it. Like I want you to be in that good spot. So like when you ghost somebody, you're never that. There has to be some unspoken, unless it's on good terms, like, or not good terms, but like talked out maybe.
And you just both decide that like you've outgrown each other or just different paths.
I guess. Like I think of people that I've ghosted or have ghosted me, or like just relationships that just kind of died that like you didn't know. Like one time it was like the last time I saw them, and like
That was it.
I never saw them again.
Yeah.
You know, even when I think about
And
like
they're still alive.
Well, I was just thinking, like, even, remember Petey from high school?
Yeah.
It's like one time I saw him, and, like, I thought, like, we were in college and stuff. I think, no, I was working then. I mean, maybe I was college years, but, like, and then he died. It was like I never saw him again.
You never realized the last time you saw someone. Yeah, but that's not like a ghosting thing because you guys were still friends.
Yeah, just having to, you know,
beforehand, but
you outgrow
don't
people.
you don't keep in touch as much.
Especially, you know, in, like, high school and stuff, like, you don't, you know. You go different paths, and, I don't know. I guess really, like, yeah, I would say that I really just keep in touch with people like via social media these days anyway. So it's like, it's hard to ghost anyone.
But if we didn't have that, then yeah, they'd all be ghosted. I wouldn't talk to anybody from, you know, school and stuff. And not that I have a problem with like wishing everybody happy birthday. Like it's great.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Keep them coming back to me too. But yeah, no, it's just like you said. Like there were people that I hung out with every day in middle school and high school, and even after high school that. You know, again, like the once a year posts or the, you know, very random, maybe like a Snapchat
yeah, like you're
thing.
sending them well and stuff, and like keeping in touch in a light way. Because as you get older too, like we know, like as you get older, it's like you don't have the time to.
Life happens.
Life happens, and you have to prioritize where things matter. And people, you know, obviously into family and their closest friends, and that's how you have like your small. You can't prioritize everybody. Yeah. So you know, but still ghosting people, like you ghost your family and stuff like that too, like, and keep in touch on big things, and that's about it.
And that's it, yeah. But then also, when they're gone, or when whoever goes first, like that's the next level of ghosting, or you know, grief that you'll have to deal with in that form, like I said, you know, the unresolved issues or the unspoken words, or
yeah, all the things that people don't talk about, and then they have it, and it's sad. And I feel like a lot of times too, people just. If they just realize that they might not have that opportunity, like saying it when they're gone isn't, you know, that's too late. You know what I mean? Like, say it now.
Yeah, obviously, but that we go, it goes back to the whole like we all think that we have more time. Or do you think that though, or you think that we're all just like, what do you think it is? The reason why we just
I feel like when I turned 30, I stopped caring about a lot of things. And then I feel like I had a whole perspective switch on a bunch of things. So I feel like it's more of like, for me, I would think it's about priority. But for other people, I think it also has to do with ego, judgment. Like it's going to be things like that too. Like people, they have pride and they don't want to go down in their pride, or they don't want to communicate what they're feeling based on the reaction of how they're going to, be treated if you say something, or if you talk about that you hurt my feelings or however. So yeah, I think it's like, I don't know.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, our time is obviously it's valued, but it's like I'm trying to like word it like. I mean, the only way to word it the right way is like we're all gonna die, which we we know that. But I mean, like.
Like, does it matter? Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
but like,
I try
what's the resistance? Like, why hold back
on certain things? That's why you know me. I am like so.
I know.
I'm so straightforward with things.
know.
I get so blunt with things because it's just like I don't have time to waste. Like, I'm gonna die, and like I just want contentment. Like, I just want like that's what I always think is like contentment, and also like back to what we were saying with like when they actually ghost you like in real life. Like, I know what it's like when you have somebody who you think is gonna be here all the time. And then they're gone, like that. Yeah. And it's like when Georgie passed away.
Yeah,
obviously, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that.
Georgie, like very your cousin. She's my cousin. Okay, let's get this right. She's not my cousin.
We've known each other forever.
Yeah,
our mothers are very close.
My mom's her godmother. Boom.
So the easiest way to describe our relationship as kids was just to say we were cousins, even though we are not related. That's important because
very important.
Georgie was my blood cousin.
Right. So. Not my cousin.
In no way related to you.
Me. And me and George had like a little.
It was like a sweetheart, like a young teen.
Yeah.
I loved it. I always wanted you guys to get married, and so did his mom. So did Aunt Patty. She still does. She still talks about it.
Well, yeah. And then George unfortunately passed away, and that was definitely the biggest ghosting, I think. That's the biggest ghosting I've ever had.
Same.
Like,
it was just like the not expected. It was that one. Yeah, like.
And it was right after the pandemic because it was 2021. Mm-hmm. So it was like everybody basically kind of closed down, obviously, during the pandemic, and no one really talked and saw each other as like we used to because the world shut down.
Yeah, but it was the opposite for him and I. But wait, finish what you were saying.
Oh, completely.
Because we worked together.
Yes.
We worked together.
And then that was it. Then he was gone. Like it was just crazy. Yeah. Like, and I just think about like, wow, even at Aunt Gladys's funeral, but he didn't. I couldn't make it to the after.
Yeah, he couldn't come before. So you were supposed to come to the restaurant. Yeah. And that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
And we talk about that too. Like, oh, if only you came to the restaurant. Like, all these like shoulda, coulda, woulda
things. Yeah.
But that was the hardest thing. And I just remember like I got the phone call, and Rebecca's telling me, and I was like, no, like that's wrong. I think you're confused. I think you mean somebody else. And it just I was so shocked. And like I was saying, him and I mean we were always so close, but during the pandemic especially, we wound up getting a job together. Well, he had the job, he got me the job there, and we got to work together for that summer. And I was like, I'm so grateful for that we had that summer, and we were able to stay as close as we were. But then the next year he kind of fell off. He kept to himself, and things kind of fell off. And before he passed, like it probably was a few months that like I hadn't even really. We chatted a little bit through text, but I wouldn't say like in a ghosting form, but like we were kind of starting to, I guess, go separate ways.
For like, it would have been a reprieve. It would have been a reprieve until like until Christmas came around and everybody got together and we had the family, it would have all went back to normal. But bringing back to that, what you were saying when he died, you called me. I remember every time. For like 3 months straight,
so
you just call me at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, obviously I'm always on call, so I'm like, who's possibly calling me? And when I saw her, I'd answer the phone, and somebody always died. Like, someone literally always died.
It happens
and
so
it was just,
often.
it was so frustrating. I was like, can you stop? Like, that's why we call each other actually every morning to talk, because we were like, listen, we cannot just be calling each other
Every
and
time
having
someone
chattings
died,
when
even
someone
though it
dies.
was often that people were dying, and
Yeah,
I
it
got
was
to talk
actually,
to you.
it happens so
Way too
rapidly
often.
fast. And when you called about George, and I literally was almost like, you sounded exasperated, and I was like, who was it? Like, I just remember being like, who? And you were
Yeah.
like, Georgie, and I was like, no. And then I just remember just being in a total state of shock, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then I was just like, I have to call you back.
Yeah.
I had to call you back, and I just stood there. I was in the living room, and I was just in a state of shock, and I was like, "There's no way, not like there's no way."
Do you know what's so funny that you say that is that the previous phone calls with the same, conversation of this one died and that one died, never one, not, you every time you took okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what you got to do, call this, like everything was like you were ready, and it wasn't like you were prepared for the phone call of me calling you someone died, like you just knew what to do. When Georgie died, you were like, I have to call you back.
I need a minute. Like,
Yeah.
I have to recoup my whole. I remember your mom looking at me when I was with his mom, and she was just like, "Are you sure you could do this?" And I was like, "No, but like I'm doing it. Like,
Well,
here
yeah,
we
let's go back
are."
to that.
Like,
So obviously, you were entrusted with all of his
Yeah.
services and everything, and of course he did an amazing job. But that had to have been, it had to be hard. It has to be hard.
yeah,
To
it is. But you know what? Too, like, that's part of, like, maybe I wasn't really ghosted, maybe, because I feel like I had so much alone time, like conversation, and whatever. I hope he heard me. You know what I mean? Like, it was good.
sure
It was
he
really
did.
good. I remember, funny side note, I had my gloves on. I remember I was just trying to adjust him in that casket. I hated that casket. And when I pulled, I was like,
he had put on a little bit of
put on
weight,
a little
right?
weight,
Yeah.
and I was being so teasy, and I was like, oh wow, Porker, like you definitely put on some weight there, pal. Like, I was also frustrated, remember? And I pulled my hands out, and the part of my glove got stuck underneath him was the middle finger. I was like,
He was like,
you too, you know?
well, you call him Porker.
Swear.
He was
Oh my
there.
gosh. Same thing. Wait, that was I made a TikTok on that too. You knew it. With when I did your dad's funeral.
Oh, yes.
The shoes.
The boots? Oh, I thought you were talking about the fancy shirt.
Oh yes, the fancy shirt.
Yes.
He only had two, and he had two of them, right?
Well, yeah. So my dad passed away. Actually, this year will be 10 years. But isn't that crazy? Time flies.
I can't believe I did that funeral.
I know, 10 years ago. Well,
10 years ago.
Yeah, and
That's
then we
crazy. I
still
was
have-
like 10.
so crazy, right?
Wow.
See what you did there? But I, before he died, it was a couple months before my wedding, and I remember like the struggle, the arguments him and I would get into because he never dressed up. He never wore a suit, a tux. He wore denim to his own wedding. That man, he wore leather and denim, and that was it. So when he died, I was like, you didn't have to be so dramatic that you didn't want to wear a tux. We could have worked around it. But then picking out his clothes, obviously we let my mom do all that. She brings us
Everyone
his
at the
two
funeral
shirts.
home was like, whose clothes are those?
Do they come in this? No. He'll be leaving in those.
Those are mine.
And it was just a short sleeve, button up, black shirt with flames all around it. He had a blue one and an orange one.
Girl, all I'm saying is, like, I'm just grateful he wasn't cremated. Like,
Why? Because he got to be all stylish?
it would have been so weird putting him out in flames.
I kind of like that. It would have kind of been like a symbolic, I don't know, that could have
It
been.
was a little, maybe, was that what you call an oxymoron?
No.
Ironic?
Ironic is a good one.
Icon? Nah.
No. He was iconic,
That
though,
was
but-
definitely iconic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I don't know why I just brought up your...
Because you said the shoes, too.
Oh,
You were
that
talking
was
about
it with the shoes. Yeah, your mom. And then she went to that medium afterwards and calls me up, and she's like, did you put his shoes on? I was like, yeah. Then I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, man, those were boots. I remember putting them on. But
And they
then
weren't
I'm-
like new boots. They were like old, worn out.
And I just remember being like, no, maybe, like, I know. I'm like, but I couldn't, it was a very stressful time, okay? I was like, did I pull them all the way up? Like, maybe they're not on all the way, like, they're just, like, halfway. So I was like, oh, no. Like, is that what happened? And, like, now he's not comfortable? And, like, because he was so mad.
The medium.
Yeah, through the medium that he didn't, like, you didn't give shoes. And she's like, I gave shoes. And I was like, I had shoes.
Is he wearing them is the question.
I'll find out when I get there, but, like...
He's going to be just standing there with his bare foot.
The things that will taught me for a very long time. A very long time. No. Yeah. And that's real ghosting. Yeah.
Well, okay. I do have a question, though,
Hit me.
while we're on the topic. As we talk about, like, you know, in the mediums and stuff. What's your experience with that afterlife, spooky ghost in the cemetery, in the funeral home? Do they talk to you? Do they sit up? Do
you think I bring spirits to your house?
I think you're enough. I think there's enough spirits here that you don't think everything else just waits in the car.
That's good. That was a good one. You don't feel like you don't feel any weird.
Like, do I think that you bring like this like heavy energy?
My dad says that I bring spirits because he says weird things happen when I'm not around, but I don't believe that. Like, I don't. I also feel like maybe I'm a skeptic. I feel like a lot of people love to like that whole theory of you know, like, oh, it's a funeral home and it's haunted and there's ghosts and you must be all these spirits. Like, people like are fascinated with it, and like I want to give you juicy stories, but like
nothing.
Like nothing.
Never like sounds or music playing.
There's been things that happened, but like nothing that I would say. Like, I would just chalk it up to being coincidental. Like, maybe not, but like like come on. One time I was in the office. Office chair, air conditioned window. Not on. I came in. I was there for like an hour. Never got off from the computer. And then all of a sudden, I just heard a huge smash. The air conditioner fell out the window. Like,
well, that could have just not been in the window. Right?
No, like, you don't understand. There was like gorilla tape.
It was a little windy that day.
The gorilla tape wasn't holding up. No, I'm telling you something. And when I went back onto the cameras, but like also like I felt like they were staticky, but it just looked like something
the cameras
happened.
got staticky.
Also, like one time I was in the chapel and I walked out with I walked out with the urn. I put the urn in, right? Because we were setting up for an urn. So I put the urn in. I walked out of the chapel. When I came back in, all the candles were on. Like, and I went back because I wanted to show the videotape, but it's black and white, so like you can't tell. And I was like, wow, crazy. But also like, I don't know, were they like?
Were they lit before?
I don't know. No, like that's what like it was just, I guess, yeah, like it's unexplainable. But like that the candle thing has happened a lot of times at work. Like other people have like called it out. Like I came in and all the candles were on, and like, yeah, that's weird. But like also maybe it's a glitch. They're battery operated.
Oh, yeah, that makes it a little less fun. If there were flames, that'd be pretty cool.
Like, and like sometimes like, yeah, like
maybe it's like on a timer or something. And my Christmas lights do that.
Like me, yeah, but they're not. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And like, so that happened, and like something happened. Like, things do like, but I just feel like it's all coincidence. Like, I don't think, but like I also feel like
you don't think there's really ghosts.
No, like I don't think like there's haunting, but I also feel like and that sounds weird, but I feel like when I'm with the decedents, like I feel like they're there with me, but like I don't know if that's because like I'm a little unhinged or like
you have like conversations with them.
Yeah, and like I know they're not there.
You kind of, but
like,
you personalize yourself with them, so it's like you make them. I mean, they're the person there, but like you make them.
So maybe that's why they're not haunting, because like I'm just like, hey dude, like
they're
what's
like
going on?
They're just looking over your shoulder like
like they know that like it's good. Yeah, like they know, like we're talking. Yeah. So like the ghost and me are good. Like I don't know, maybe that's the case.
You have a good reputation with them. Bring someone in there that doesn't get along with ghosts, and all of a sudden like things could go different.
And like with the meetings and stuff like that, like I don't really know. I don't know if you can like, is it like a wall of some sort? Maybe I don't know. Like did you ever go to a medium?
I went to the same one my mother went to.
Oh wait, tell me again.
He was awesome. He was amazing, incredible.
That, like,
new names. Georgie came. My dad was there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, no, he was great.
Did you get upset?
I mean, like I got emotional, but no, I thought I had a great experience. I don't know that I would do it again.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it.
When you did it?
Yeah.
I did it once, but it was like at a party, I guess. So like everyone kind of went in, and I was like one of the last ones. And like, it was just like, I ended up hysterical crying, like very strange. But it was more of like, how would she know? how would she know? Like, I went in there and I thought when I walked in, like, what I really wanted was to, like, walk in and her be like, oh my God, there's so many spirits. Everyone's coming through. Like, I took all the people from work. Like, you know, like, I was wondering if, like, the guy that, like, I was just working on, like, is he coming with me? Like, is he gonna come
invited
through? Like, I did invite him. I was like, come. But she ended up saying that, you know, like, that Chris came through, and Chris was a friend who passed away when, oh, geez, I was like 17, I guess, yeah. Very impactful, the whole funeral. And just that she even brought him up, and part of that grief was like how she knew his name, like beyond me. But what was really powerful was that I hadn't, when on my way there, like who I was thinking was gonna come through, like people who I'm very close with, and not that I was not close with Chris, it was just like, I almost forgot about him. And that was like a really impactful moment where I was like, wow, I haven't like, and I grieved him, you know, like, and I still love him, and there was so many, but that, you know, like that time distance. So that was very eye-opening. And then the other stuff. So I don't know how she knew, and like if he did come through, but like one of the things he said too was, I'm really shocked by your career choice. That's not what I expected for you, you know, like, so.
See, I think the opposite.
I don't know. But yeah, ghosting is definitely the ultimate thing that happens every day. It's in all different types of life.
So many different levels to it.
Different levels. It's a whole thing. And like, again, that grief and stuff like that. See, everything connects to death.
It's always.
Everything.
It's always the answer.
You know, everything. And then when you look at, like, if you just think about your mortality a little bit, like, wow, things could be definitely different, which, oh my gosh, next week's episode is going to be fire. I've been definitely working on something. It's going to be so good.
Good. Don't email it to me because I won't read it.
I'm going to start texting it to you in like little single texts.
Yeah, don't do a whole big paragraph because that will never get read.
I'm just like, yeah, I want you to know what we're going to be talking about.
No, I appreciate it. I do. I think I should probably be prepared, but I just go off of whatever you talk about. I'm just happy to be here.
I do this, because like I just keep taking all these thoughts inside my head and I'm like, this is perfect.
No, this is great. This is like our morning conversations, but we get to do it in the afternoon today.
I love it. I love it. Like, share, say it.
Subscribe.
Like it. And
donate.
Donate. Links in
you can comment too.
And,
only nice things though.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.